Hello, everybody. It is Monday, February 4th, and this is the 26th edition of 62 Who Knew. We thank you for being here. I thank my hostess with the mostest, Nada Cerrito, for being here. Welcome back. We both weren't here last week.
Welcome back to you, too.
Oh, yeah, there we, for the first time ever last week, we weren't here. We were both at a Financial Planning Association meeting in Central Florida. I want to thank everybody, Diane Layton and all the great people in Orlando for allowing us to participate. We had a booth there for 2 days. They had more than 100 certified financial planners. We spoke about reverse mortgages. More than anything, we spoke about our mortgage company, Professional Mortgage Alliance's Blue Ocean business model of bringing financial planners actually into the mortgage business, and it went over very well, as it usually does.
Yes,
we had a good couple of days, other than I got miserably sick and you had to take over the second day, and she did most of the work, which was really cool, while I laid around and try to breathe. So anyway, I want to thank our guest host last week, really and seriously and truly, Mr. David Cribbs, who is his host of his own TV show, Under Contract Live. He did an incredible job. He's been a guest of ours. So for those of you that watched last week or that know David, just an incredible personality, knows his market. And we had two incredible guests. We had the lovely Jenny Restrepo and also the very pretty Kevin Overstreet. He was here as well. And they spoke about title fraud and a few other things. And we had a great audience last week. And thanks to our producer, John Gaston, just sharing the hell out of it. We had a lot of viewers. We had a lot of shares. And again, thank you so much to David and our two guests for taking care of us while we were out taking care of business.
And so keep those shares going.
Yeah, just please keep sharing. Everybody keeps liking us. And I thank you for liking us, but stop liking us and keep sharing us. In fact, if you don't like us, share us anyway. Just share and go, I don't like these people, but share. That's the whole point. Anyway, so a quick synopsis of what 62 Who Knew is, because we always do that for our new guests, because our viewership is growing and growing. 62 Who Knew, although tonight is about mortgages, is not always about mortgages. It is about the double-edged sword, the mixed blessing, if you would, of longer lifespans. As I say every week, I know it's very repetitive, but I'm saying it anyway, is that every generation, as they approach the age of 62, we all have the same thoughts. You know, should I take my Social Security? Should I defer it to later? How long should I work? Should I have long-term care insurance? Should we have final expense insurance? Do I need more annuities? Do I need more mutual? I mean,
should I get a reverse mortgage?
Should I get a reverse mortgage? Of which the answer is yes to that. That's at least the easy one. But this generation today, my generation, has a different obstacle, if you would, than no other generation before it. And that obstacle is longer lifespans. Thanks to medical breakthroughs, science, technologies, if you make it in this country to the age of 65, you have better than a 50-50 chance of making it to 90. And as we've learned from a few of our guests in the last 26 weeks, that's going to go close to 100 in the next 10 to 20 years. So imagine approaching retirement age, still knowing that you have at least half the time you've been here left. And the truth of the matter is less than 1% of the world, or at least 1% of the country, is ready for that or financially prepared for it. That's why you see a lot of old guys with gray hairs doing mortgages and selling real estate and doing stuff like that. And unfortunately, in front of Walmart going, would you like a car? And this show is here to help to bring different products to people, and it's been growing, and we thank you all for spreading it and sharing it while getting around inside. Tonight, we are bringing back our guest that we had, our last live guest in 2018. He is a nationally known spokesman in the reverse mortgage business. It is always a pleasure to have Mr. Sless. He's going to be on a lot in 2019. We've discussed, thanks to John changing the format here in WeBeam TV, we've changed the format of our show. There are no commercials. The website is changing. We have signed a national part of the LTC Global family as a national sponsor, Mr. Mark Goldberg, who was on 2 weeks ago. We're going to be giving the finest of long-term care. I shouldn't say giving. We're going to be displaying to our audience, to our database, some of the finest long-term care insurance, both traditional and the new hybrid products through our website. And we want to do that throughout the country with reverse mortgages and other products. So without further ado, so well known for his tutorials, his videos. Mr. Stephen Sless, thank you so much for coming back and joining us so quickly.
Hey,
no, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me back. Happy New Year. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? We're in February.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. February 4th, we're good. And now, so if it doesn't, now you've promised, if not tonight, the next time you're on, we have mommy and the baby and her sister, right?
Absolutely.
Tonight,
Absolutely.
definitely the next time, okay. There's no way to get around it. I do remember those younger days, but it's I miss them. I don't want to do it again, but you're young enough to do it, so go for it. So the last time you were here, we had a whole list of things to talk about, which included the two topics we were going to talk about today, but we never got to it because we both talked about the traditional reverse mortgage so much. Tonight we're going to divide the show in half. The first 30 minutes we're going to talk about the purchase product that was supposed to revolutionize the way seniors retire in this country. Hasn't quite done that yet. That's an understatement. And then in the second half of the show, I'm really going to let you take over because you have more expertise at this than I do. I'm familiar with one or two of the proprietary products out there. You're familiar with a lot of them, or at least a good portion of them, that really are bringing reverse mortgages to a whole new clientele of people with multi-million-dollar houses, which is very exciting to me. So let's start out first, and you go. Tell me about your opinion, I guess, first of why can't we get the real estate world, because you're sharing that with us. How many classes have you set up in the last 3 months?
About 4.
Yeah, and we have a huge one coming up on Valentine's Day with, we hope, 50 to 100 people. Our industry can't seem to get the real estate world to wrap its mind around the purchase reverse mortgage. What say you? Why are we failing?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's hard enough for us to get the industry and other industries to wrap their mind about just the utilization of home equity in retirement and how important converting home wealth, which for most senior homeowners makes up about 75% of their net worth, is trapped in their home equity. So we have a difficult job ahead of us in that most people don't understand what a tool and what a useful tool home equity is and can be in retirement. And then you have this other aspect of the reverse mortgage product, which is the HECM for purchase, or H for P, as we call it in the industry. And that's utilizing a reverse mortgage to actually purchase a new home, whether it's for downsizing or moving closer to family, or just to be in a better environment. We see a lot of people from my neck of the woods moving to your neck of the woods. I'm in Baltimore. Our temperatures were in the negative zero in the past couple of days here.
That's unbelievable. I can't even fathom that.
That's just, to me,
it's amazing.
I mean, last week it got so cold here, I had to put the top on the Corvette. It was really, it was damn.
It's tough life. It was tough life you're living down there.
Yeah, I really feel for you.
Yeah.
When it was damn it goes down.
Yeah. Almost like your weather, yeah.
But so there is, I believe it's 10,000 people a day turning 62, and the fact is that if 75% of their net worth lies within their home equity, why can't they explore all options on the table and to be able to set themselves up and position themselves to live a more comfortable retirement? And so what the HECM for purchase, or the reverse mortgage for purchase, allows them to do is it allows them to utilize the wealth in a home that they are selling and converting a portion of that wealth to then put down and purchase a new house utilizing a reverse mortgage. And what that does, it allows them to live payment-free in the home that they choose to live in the geographic region that they choose to live in for the rest of their life.
Yeah, you put it very, very well. I mean, it's. I think what has hurt us greatly, quite frankly, is the fact that in the real estate world, and you know this world well, they're used to the FHA loan being 96.5%, or a Fannie Mae loan being 3% down, and here we walk in until about 15 months ago going, no, you need 50% down. And now, quite frankly, in your mid-60s, it's closer to 60% down. And I think, and I want to get your opinion on this because you've sat through a bunch of my classes now, you know, and we walk away with some business, but we usually walk away with traditional reverse business. It's usually real estate agents in their 60s and 70s going, wow, can I do this on my house? The purchases don't follow for a while. I think the problem is they look at this as, well, how much down do you need for the mortgage? And when you hear that huge number, even though many seniors have that huge number, I think it turns off the 2 million real estate agents.
I think
and
it
they
does.
don't want to bring that up. So I switched personally about a year ago, and I want to see your opinion on this, Stephen, that this isn't a how much down mortgage. I'm really looking at this product, and I've loved it for 10 years, and you've seen how much my love has helped its success. So that hasn't helped much, me loving it. But for the last year, I've been selling it, quite frankly, as an ethical and moral platform in which a client can upsell themselves with the real estate agent's help and actually afford that dream home that they maybe never would have afforded without it. That person that made $300,000 in Maryland on a house comes here, wants to live on the golf course in Florida, and discovers that's $500,000 at best. Sure. Why not take that $300,000, put it down, allow Stephen or Nada or Mike to come to the table with $200,000, have that $500,000 house, live on the golf course, have your dream home, and still have no house payment. So I don't know if you've ever presented it that way as an ethical and moral platform to upsell the client with a clear conscience because there's no payment.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so I think we have a little bit different style in that you're marketing more towards the realtor, the financial advisor. I'm going more direct to the consumer. And so when I hold my local seminars and learning workshops here, we do bring up the HECM for purchase quite often. And, you know, there is a very deep educational component to really have the borrower understand, oh, well, I do have, you know, if I want to move, and I just give them a hypothetical scenario. Your home is $400,000, okay? Let's say you have a $100,000 mortgage to pay off. So you're going to net $300,000 if you sell your home. What are your options? You could take that $300,000. You could go pay cash for another $300,000 home, or you could try to take out a mortgage, which later in life, I mean, does it really make sense for a 75-year-old borrower to take out a 30-year mortgage? Probably not. There's going to be cash flow issues later on in life when they're in their 90s, upper 80s, early 90s. So what we teach them is, look, you're going to net this amount of money. Let's just call it $300,000. If you looked at a HECM for purchase, you could then purchase a $400,000 home. So you don't have to sacrifice in the home that you're going to be looking for. You don't have to buy just a $300,000 home. You can take that $300,000 that you net from the sale, apply 50% of that, roughly, towards the sale, towards the purchase of a new $400,000 home. That is your only cash investment in that new purchase. So what you just did was you bought a $400,000 home for $200,000 in cash, and you're netting $100,000 in cash flow to keep in the bank as a rainy day fund, or to do whatever you choose to do with it. But that's, until you're able to walk somebody through that scenario and really understand what they want, what their needs are. Just because they're seniors, it doesn't mean that they want to downsize. It might just mean that the home that they're in now might not be the right home for them long term. So we really get into the nitty gritty. We have deep, meaningful conversations with our borrowers to just figure out what their goals are, what's going to allow them to retire on their terms, and then we help them structure a plan accordingly. And if it's with a traditional mortgage, then so be it.
That's right.
I happen to think that a reverse mortgage is an excellent product, but we allow our borrowers to make decisions for themselves. What we're here to do is provide education, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, with those clients, do you find that they typically have the same objections? And if so, what are those objections? Because I'm sure maybe people are asking themselves right now. So what kind of objections do you get, and what kind of answers do you have for them?
Yeah. So it's a reverse mortgage. So of course there's going to be objections, right? I mean, that's the business we're in. Most people don't understand reverse mortgages. Most financial advisors don't understand reverse mortgages. I think that's starting to change, but that's still the case, which is why we take an education first approach. I personally feel the best way to do that is by holding local learning events. You obviously have a great platform with the television show. We're both doing the same thing, and that's educating the consumer. Once the consumer goes through the education, if they're open-minded enough to sit through either a learning workshop or a one-on-one consultation, or even, whether it's in person or over the phone, they get it. At some point, the light bulb goes off, and they're like, that really makes a lot of sense. But they have to be open-minded enough, and they have to forget about the myths and misconceptions about reverse mortgages for a moment and let a professional like one of the three of us sit and explain to them what a powerful tool home equity is, whether it's with the HECM for purchase or a traditional HECM or one of the proprietary products that we'll discuss a little bit further this evening. It's home equity. It all comes back to home equity and two of the most magical words in retirement, and that's cash flow. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
It just staggers me sometimes when you talk to somebody, and I think that's why sometimes, no disrespect to my real estate friends, they've been great to me. I hate to admit this, for 37 years. I love, most mortgage people shy away from real estate agents. They've helped me have a great life, helped my kids have everything that they needed. Real estate agents sold a little over 5.5 million homes last year. That's where professional mortgage people need to be with real estate agents, whether it's forward mortgages or reverse. But when you think about somebody, let's pick a number, buying a $600,000 house for cash, okay? And that's what they want. They don't want an $800,000. They want the $600,000. The thought of putting 60% down, 60% of $600,000 would be $360,000. Still buying that $600,000 house. And then taking the other $240,000, which is $10,000 short of $250,000, going back to that financial planner and going, we didn't use this. Can you do something to make sure I'm not broke before I die? I mean, I don't care if you have $1 million in the bank. You just increased your net worth $250,000. And if you have as little in the bank as experts say most people do, oh my God, that's a life changer. That's why it still staggers me that we can't get the real estate world and the financial planning world to just wrap their arms and their brains and kind of their hearts around this. This is a life-changing product, and we can't get that message across for some reason.
I think the industry needs to do more. I'm glad. Look, I love the fact that you're taking a front and center approach. You have a great platform in the TV show, which is attracting more viewers each and every week because you're great at what you do, and I think people are starting. I think people are starting to see that. But the industry needs to step up. If you look on TV, there's reverse mortgage commercials. One particular actor in particular, you have Tom Selleck that's out there talking about the product. I don't think Tom Selleck has ever done a reverse for purchase TV commercial. So it's up to us. It's up to us to really put the messaging out there, educate the consumer. Realtors, I think, look, we're in an industry that's very slow to adapt. The real estate industry is even slower to adapt than the mortgage industry.
Polite. That's because you're young. They're slow to adapt. Okay, we'll go with that.
They're archaic, slow to adapt, dinosaurs. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah,
but the fact remains that realtors and here's another thing for borrowers to keep in mind too. And I was having a conversation with a client, a prospective client the other day, and I'm like, look, you can choose who you work with. You can choose your realtor. You can choose your mortgage professional.
That's right.
Make sure that you are talking to somebody that is going to present every available option clearly and definitively. And if you're 70 years old and your mortgage professional or your real estate professional is saying you should take out a 30-year mortgage, that would be a red light to me.
Yeah,
and I think a big red light. Absolutely. Because I do not see any circumstance where a 30-year mortgage makes sense for somebody who's in their mid-70s. I would argue somebody that's in their young 60s. Think about having that mortgage payment when you're 85 years old. and the cost of living and inflation and healthcare and all the expenses that come up as you're trying to fund your longevity, there's a better way. And very often that better way is the reverse mortgage product.
Well, one of the reasons Nate and I are always talking to financial planners about getting their mortgage license, I'll take it one step further, other than being able to afford it, of course. I don't know why a 50-year-old is getting a 30-year mortgage if they're trying to retire in their early 60s. That's why I want to bring financial planners into the business. And with all due respect, I also just want to quickly say the Tom Selleck commercials, I wish they would do an H4P commercial, but they are great commercials. They are probably the finest commercials.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, definitely total respect to AAG. Hats off to the #1 retail reverse mortgage company in the country. Their president is a pioneer, and I think he's just done a great job. And to Tom Selleck, he's sincere, and the fact that he has time for these commercials, and he's still the police commissioner of New York. I think that's kind of incredible.
I just love him.
Yeah, well, all girls do you love him, the police commissioner, or do you love Magnum when he was in those short shorts?
I just like Tom Selleck.
There you go. All right, fine. But yeah, I would like to see, and it's something that we've discussed here, and I would love to see, I don't want to, I guess I'm allowed to say this, so I'm just going to say it, a RE/MAX agent, a Keller Williams agent. I don't want to leave anybody out and have anybody mad at me. I'd love to see a commercial without a TV star that just has a RE/MAX agent or a Keller Williams or something like that, and a line-right real estate person who just gets on TV and goes, you know what, I never knew you could buy a house with a reverse mortgage. I went to this dumb little class, and now I'm selling houses to people 62 and above with no payments. When the hell did that happen? I think a commercial like that would have all of our phones ringing. We would have realtors go, what did they just say? Why isn't somebody doing that? And I know we don't have the answer to that.
I think it's a great opportunity as well for a realtor or a real estate firm to brand themselves as the foremost expert in attempting to help seniors retire on their terms. Let's show we have a better way. I think if somebody came out with an effective marketing strategy geared towards baby boomers, which is the fastest growing population. I mean, again, 10,000 people a day are turning 62. I can tell you, the realtors that I engage with on a day-to-day basis are blown away by the product.
Yes.
And I talk to new real estate agents each and every week that have no idea that this product exists.
Yeah.
They're blown away. What do you mean they can buy a $400,000 home for $200,000 cash and never make a mortgage payment? Well, yeah, that's exactly what I mean, and I'm going to show you how. And then they go out and they do it, and it makes a lot of sense. And keep in mind, for the realtor, you take some money that's looking at a $200,000 home, and you show them how they can buy a $300,000 home.
Yeah.
Or a $400,000 home for that same $150,000 or $200,000 cash investment, and never have to make a monthly mortgage payment, only pay the taxes and the insurance for the rest of their time living in the home, they're blown away. But I think it's just, it's a product that's still pretty young. The Heck'em for Purchase has only been around since, 2008, if I'm right. And there's just a lot of education that needs to still be done about it.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's too good to be true.
We do hear that a lot. What do you mean there's no payments? What do you mean we'll never owe more than it's worth? What do you mean the kids aren't going to have to, there's no personal guarantee? This can't be. We do get a lot of the too good to be true syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, and what I would say to that is, look, it's a mortgage. No different than a traditional mortgage. It has an interest rate. The would-be payment each and every month gets added to the balance of the loan. That balance does get paid back when you leave the home. So it's a mortgage. What it does, though, is it's structured in a way to maximize your cash flow while you're alive, and it allows you to enjoy retirement, and maybe enjoy retirement on a deeper level and have a more meaningful retirement with more peace of mind than you otherwise would.
In your own home that you don't have to leave.
Yeah.
Or at least possibly not have to leave, because you don't have to pay that extra money a month, and you have perhaps some long-term care to keep you in the house.
And one thing that no one argues, and I don't want to get too far into this because it's a different topic, is that, no one argues this, people live longer at home. And there's no
Absolutely.
way to get around it.
Oh, for sure.
If you're lucky enough to go to one of Stephen Sless's classes in your 60s, and then suddenly it's 20, 25 years later. I mean, really and truly, we're all going to go through this. And the first partner is gone. It is usually dad, because men live between 5 and 7 years, less than women. And now mom, grandma, is having to go, do I stay in the house? Do I not? I mean, to me, and I know it sounds corny, the fact that they came to one of your classes 20 or 25 years earlier, or maybe their realtor did, or maybe their financial planner did, that this grandmother in her 80s is going to stay in that beautiful home where her grandchildren come and visit, where she knows the butcher, knows the doctors,
That's right.
because she has no debt service. Where else, to me, that's an incredible thing. And again, I try not to end negative because we're going to switch to proprietary. But again, it just disappoints me how this industry hasn't got that emotional part of this across. This is a life-changing product. It just is. And maybe that's the way it should be
It
built.
really is.
I mean, a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage isn't life-changing. It's been around since before World War II. This is life-changing. It really is.
Well, think about it.
It's why
Sorry.
I was just going to say it's why I've exclusively done nothing but reverse mortgages for over a decade. I was a traditional mortgage loan officer. I've been in the business since 2003, and I made a decision a decade ago that look, I want to be in the business of impacting lives in a deeper, more meaningful way, and I can't do that by saving somebody $200 a month or $300 a month. Here's how I can do that. And boy, I mean, you've been in the business a long time as well. I mean, it is extremely meaningful work. It's unfortunate that we have to deal with the myths and the misconceptions, and a lot of people thinking that we're somehow helping the government to steal somebody's home. I mean, you hear these crazy stories and these crazy misconceptions, but it's meaningful, impactful work.
You got some real experts out there with some big followings saying some really stupid things, and I'd like to say that's slowing down.
Why don't you go ahead and drop a name, Mike?
No, I would never do that, Dave Ramsey. I would never do that. That would just be wrong. That would, So anyway,
you're his biggest fan.
I was just going to say, you say, getting somebody a 30-year fixed mortgage, it is life-changing for the first-time home buyer or second home. It is life-changing.
Yeah.
But how much more life-changing is it for somebody who's 62 and older getting their dream home, because instead of putting $300 down, they got a $450,000 loan for that dream home, and that is life-changing because that's where they're going to live their retirement without a payment again. I mean, that's life-changing for that stage of life.
Yeah, for them, for their family, for everything.
For everyone.
Which is
in many ways.
Which is a great lead-in to the proprietary products, because again, we were...
Oh, that really was, and it wasn't even planned.
That was very good.
You guys are such professionals.
We're getting Regis and Kathy Lee have nothing on you and I. I think we've caught up to them.
I think so.
So, would you like a lifeline? Oh, no, that's a different program. I got totally confused.
Oh, sorry.
I'm also 12 inches taller than Regis. But be that as it may, these proprietary products, again, kudos to the lenders. You're going to name some of them. You're a little better at this than I am. A lot better at this than I am, of what they've come out with. This could be our change. Let's hope that we can market this multi-million-dollar reverse mortgage to such a different group of people. No insult to our needs-based reverse mortgage people that I've been helping for 10 years, you've been helping for 10 years, you've been helping for about 15 minutes now, for about 3 years. No insult to those people, but maybe if we can do our share of $2 million mortgages on $4 million houses, where you're literally saying to a multi-millionaire client, here's $2 million back to you. Let's keep you in this house. As absurd as this may sound, let's keep Gaz in the 36-foot Chris Craft that's on the dock. Let's keep you on those world cruises. This is a reverse mortgage that changes our world.
Absolutely.
Maybe that will trickle over into the traditional going, oh, it's not just for, God, I hate when I hear this, but I hear it all the time on LinkedIn, on videos from people not as professional as you. There are old people out there eating cat food. My God, sometimes I hear that from giants in the industry. The people eating cat food don't have enough equity in their house to get a why are they in the same sentence? So I want you to go into these proprietary products, because I think this may be the door opener for us, for the world to go, oh my God, reverse mortgages are not just a product of last resort.
Yeah, I agree. I think the perception that reverse mortgages are a product of last resort has really changed over the past few years, and even more so now. So there are about 4 or 5, and soon to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 proprietary reverse mortgage products that have hit the market over the past 2 years. And it's a very exciting time to be a reverse mortgage borrower and a reverse mortgage professional alike right now. There are a lot of options out there. Historically, the government insured, the FHA insured reverse mortgages have made up about 98, 99% of the reverse mortgage market. I think we're going to see a big shift. And I would venture to say over the next 5 years, at least a 50-50 split, if not 75-25 proprietary versus government.
I agree.
These proprietary loans allow you to access more of your home equity with far less closing costs than a traditional government-insured reverse mortgage. And they're not just for, I mean, you made a great point about pretty high net worth clients taking out reverse mortgages, which they are now more than ever. But you don't necessarily have to be a high net worth clientele. There's proprietary products that allow you, as long as your home value is a minimum of $350,000, you can look at and compare a proprietary reverse mortgage to a traditional government insured and do an apples to apples comparison. Mm-hmm. And that's what we've started to do with anybody who qualifies for a proprietary and a government. Let's put them side by side. Let's do the math. Let's see how much you qualify for over here and what the closing costs are, and how much you qualify for here and what the closing costs are. And look, you have options now that were never available to you. So I think it's a very exciting time. It certainly is for us in the industry, but anybody who's approaching retirement age, who's 62, and now, 60 years old. There's products that go down to 60 years old.
Yeah, my favorite is at 60. The one thing that we talked about a few weeks ago when you're on, which was my first proprietary product that I was involved in, was a $5.5 million home down here on Bel Air Beach. For those of you that aren't familiar with our area, it's a beautiful area right on the Gulf of Mexico. And people in their mid-70s, hardworking, successful people, hurt between 2008 and 2013 in the Great Recession. And I'm not going to go into personal financials. That would be rude and inappropriate. But, if there are people out there working paycheck to paycheck, I don't want them to be insulted. I'm certainly working many a times of my life paycheck to paycheck, so I'm not being disrespectful. But they came to a point in life where the flood insurance, the homeowner's insurance, the taxes on the house are more than $100,000 a year. Cash reserves were substantial compared to a normal person.
Right.
But their financial planner said, you are not going to be able to stay in this house till your 90s as you wanted to. Inflation, everything is just going up too much. You love your cruises, you love your lifestyle. I have no disrespect for that. They worked hard for that dream house. And he gave them 2 choices. He said, you can get a jumbo reverse mortgage. We'll take a couple of million out. And that'll certainly get you into your 80s and 90s. You'll stay here in your dream home. Or the house is free and clear. Sell it. Make $5.5 million. No disrespect here. Buy a $2.5 million house and bank $2.5 million, and sure, life will be good. And they went, you know what? We built this house. This is our dream house. We want to stay. And they chose the reverse mortgage. What a different scenario than, oh my God, hurry up, get this reverse mortgage because I'm behind on my taxes. A totally different world.
Yeah, and I think, you made a great point in that options were explored. And I think that's critical here. Mm-hmm. Sitting down, exploring every possible option that's on the table. Utilizing home equity versus selling the home, proprietary versus traditional government insured, whether to stay in this home for the rest of your life or potentially use a reverse mortgage to purchase another home. The key is education and options. Yep. A couple key differences between the proprietary product and the traditional product. So one, fixed rates. Most of these proprietary products offer very competitive fixed rates. You're going to find that traditional government-insured reverse mortgages, most likely it's going to be a variable rate. Yes. To be able to take the most beneficial product. That most beneficial product in many cases is going to be a variable rate mortgage. Proprietaries offer strong fixed rates. You can also access all of the money that you qualify for in one lump sum. You cannot do that with an FHA government-insured reverse mortgage. With a government-insured reverse mortgage, you can qualify for 60% of the amount that you qualify for, and then that other 40% you don't have access to in year number one.
Right.
You have to defer that money until you've been in the reverse mortgage for at least 1 year. And no mortgage insurance.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I mean, that's huge. And in many cases, I mean, so it has the FHA reverse mortgage insurance is a 2% upfront fee of the home value. You know,
Right.
So you take a $500,000 home, that's $10,000 in mortgage insurance right away, right off the bat. Proprietary loans have no mortgage insurance, and so closing costs are minuscule on these loans.
Yep. And to be fair, and I want to be fair, as much as you and I and Nada are so passionate about this product, but to be fair, I have heard reverse mortgage professionals go, the 2% up front is just like 2% up front on a traditional FHA. Well, number one, on traditional FHA, it's 1 3/4. What's the big deal? It's a quarter of a point. But in a traditional FHA, on a forward loan, it's 1 3/4 of the mortgage amount. In our world, in all fairness, it's 2% of the value of the home. So let's just say it's a $500,000 house. We're lending them 40% in their mid-60s. It's a $200,000 mortgage, but we're charging them 2% of $500,000, $10,000. So it's nice that the reverse mortgage, and I'm not downing the reverse mortgage world. This is HUD. I'm not making fun of HUD. This is our guidelines. I can sell it all day long. There are no payments. There are no personal guarantees. But sometimes, and I think this is why the financial planning world especially has had trouble with our product. They go, wait a minute, you're lending them $200,000 and you're charging $10,000 in MIP. Yes, that's 5 points, not 2. No, it's 2% of the value, but you're not lending them the value. Now, you and I have an answer. The value, the balance is going up, interest is deferring, the lender must be protected. Good answer. It still doesn't emotionally get over that huge upfront cost. And I think that's one of the reasons that we've been crippled, not the last couple of years, but the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I talk to people every day who love the fact that a reverse mortgage could either pay off their home or provide them with some cash flow that they would need in retirement. They cannot get over the barrier of entry, which is the 2%. Because in many cases now you have more, a higher net worth clientele looking at reverse mortgages. And so they have, $400,000, $500,000, $700,000 homes.
Yeah.
You talk 2%, it's a lot of money. Now, we certainly can make a case quite often that it still makes sense. Yes, you are paying 2% to FHA upfront for the insurance on this loan, but let's look at the benefits. You told me, Mr. Borrower, your goals were to, pay off your mortgage or to position yourself better later in life. There's certainly a case to be made. What the proprietary products now do, though, is that they provide a great option. And we talk about education and we talk about options. Having options is critical, because now they can look at both products side by side and say, okay, this one makes sense, or no, this one makes sense. Proprietary options are not available in all states, so I would say if anybody's interested, certainly to contact you and find out if it's available in your particular state. But I'd say we're in the infancy stage of proprietary mortgages really starting to have a major impact on our market, and that's exciting. So. Yeah, and borrowers and mortgage professionals should be very excited about that.
Now, you were telling me something over the weekend, quite frankly, that I wasn't aware of, that there is a second mortgage proprietary reverse out there where you could leave I didn't know this, where you could leave your low-cost first mortgage in place. I'm supposed to be an expert at this. It's a good thing I talked to him.
It's an unbelievable.
There is a second.
Let him say it, because apparently
you do it better.
It's an unbelievable product. So it's a second loan reverse mortgage, and so you can leave your fixed first mortgage alone. So let's say somebody has a 3%. They got their first mortgage in a great market. They have a 3% or 3.5% interest rate. They don't want to touch it. They just don't want to touch that low rate of a mortgage. Kind of can't blame them. You can now access a reverse mortgage as a second mortgage, receive additional funds from the equity in your home, and never have to make a monthly mortgage payment on those funds.
Oh.
It's an amazing product.
Interesting.
It's incredible.
That's interesting.
No,
and this is the type of innovation that's starting to hit the reverse mortgage marketplace.
Yeah.
There's only one product like that right now. I would venture to say in 6 months there's going to be multiple additional products.
Yes.
Products are going to start to get competitive.
The reverse second.
Yeah, they're keeping their forward low cost.
They're keeping their forward
I think
one.
that's amazing. We got to get that out to the financial planning world.
That is really interesting.
Got to get out that. You got to get that to the financial planning world.
And that's a great point, Michael. So in the conversations that I've had so far about the second reverse mortgage to financial advisors, it's this product that I think they are most excited about.
I don't blame them. Keep that low. It's very hard, to get rid of, even if it's not 3. There's a lot of 3.5 and 3 7/8 and 4 1/8 30-year mortgages out there. There's still some low 3 15-year mortgages out there. I mean, tons of them. To convince somebody to get rid of that because they're going to get some more, on the reverse. Very hard to get rid of that low-cost funds. I think that's a staggering product.
Yeah, and you look at some money that potentially, this loan can be, the lending limits are huge too. I mean, home values up to $10 million, loan amounts up to $4 million. You take somebody with a $3 million home,
right?
Okay, that has a low fixed rate first mortgage, and let's say they owe, $500,000 left. To be able to give them another potentially $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, maybe $500,000 in additional cash from the equity in their home to use as pure cash flow in retirement, and
That's
them
incredible.
to not have to make a monthly mortgage payment on it, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it really and truly is.
So do they take it out as a lump sum, or can it be different ways?
It's a lump sum product.
Lump sum.
I think all the proprietary products, am I correct, are right now lump sum products?
There's one that's offered by another large reverse mortgage company. It does offer a fixed rate. A fixed rate and a variable rate.
Really?
And you can actually take out a line of credit. There's no growth rate like a traditional reverse mortgage has a growth rate on the line of credit, but it is a variable rate proprietary reverse mortgage that you can utilize and take out as a fixed rate or a variable rate, and you don't have to take all the money up front like you do with the other proprietary products. You can set aside a portion of the money into a line of credit. So it's almost an apples to apples comparison to a traditional reverse mortgage.
And you also pointed out something to me just earlier when we were on the phone on the way here that I tend to forget because I talk about the proprietary products and taking millions out and giving it to people, which is a lot of fun to think about. You can use these proprietary products for purchases, and I forget that sometimes. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah, no, and no mortgage insurance, and so it could be a difference of $8,000 to $10,000 to $12,000 in savings as far as the down payment goes. So again, it's all about options. It's all about education. If somebody's looking to purchase a home and they qualify, that home qualifies, and they qualify for both products, we want to sit down. We want to explore both products to help them determine which is going to be the better way to go. We're
arranging in this next 30 to 60 days to have a couple of panel shows. We're discussing it. We've been very lucky enough to, in the last few months, to have Mr. Bill Comfort, who's one of the finest long-term care instructors and experts in the country, Mr. Mark Goldberg. We've had Carol Golden. We've had 3 of the greatest long-term care minds literally in the country, in the industry, on the show. And we want to do a panel. Our producer here and owner of WeBeam TV is arranging for that to happen because they're all in different parts of the country, and to discuss the different ways that long-term care can be used. And I think our second panel show, really and truly, I just thought about this just now, needs to be yourself, needs to be Dr. Wade Powell, and possibly Shelley Giordano, the chair of the HECM Task Force, where we could actually, just discuss the incredible ways that this product is supposed to be used for, regardless of what our detractors say it is being used for.
And you brought up Wade. I mean, Wade's the perfect example. I mean, you know, you talk about a guy who has more accreditations in front of his name than you and I ever will. I mean, literally a PhD, retirement income professional. He studies it for a living. You know, I encourage anybody to look up his articles, look up his work. You know, don't take it from two reverse mortgage experts. Take it from somebody in the academic field who studies incorporating home equity and weaving that into an overall retirement portfolio and what that does for somebody's longevity. It's mind-boggling.
And there's no doubt about it. I mean, I think, you know, I had my own, for lack of better terms, paranoia the first 6 months we had the show of not bringing up reverse mortgages a lot. It's a cool name, 62 Who Knew, but it was created, you know, about retirement age. But a lot of times when people see the name and then associate my name with it, you know, Banner's got to be doing a reverse mortgage show because everything I talk about is reverse mortgages. So I went out of my way for months not to do this, but we're not going to make that mistake in 2019. It's a great product. You're going to be a regular guest. We got to go with saying, because she's one of my favorite people in the world, what Shelley Giordano has done the last several years with the HECM task force, bringing some just absolutely brilliant financial planning minds. Again, we want this to happen. In all fairness, we make a living off this.
Right.
These are people that don't make a living off writing mortgages. We do. So do I love the product? Yes. Could I be biased? Yeah, I could be. I don't think I'm being biased, but I could be. But when you have the people like the HECM Task Force and Shelley Giordano bringing us the world of academia and real statistics and science, that's a great thing. So, I think that's our next panel show, and possibly Dr. Powell, cool. Shelley, and you. And
absolutely. And you had another great guest some weeks back, Tom Hegna. You know, Tom is he's not in the reverse mortgage world, but Tom's been preaching longevity for years and years. Mm-hmm. You know, I encourage anybody to follow Tom. Look up Tom Hegna's YouTube videos and listen to him talk about funding longevity and how important it is to make sure that you have cash flow and income in retirement.
Yep.
You know, I think when most people think retirement, even financial advisors, you know, they think wealth accumulation.
Right.
And there's an article that came out a couple weeks ago. I don't know who wrote the article. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the article or not, but the article stated, look, there is a big difference between financial planning and retirement planning.
Yeah.
They are not one and the same. Retirement planning is cash flow, income, guaranteed cash flow, and it's utilizing all of your net worth to live the best retirement that you can. And I mean, it's a credit to you. You've had unbelievable guests on this show for the limited amount of time that you've been on. I mean, well, it's, you know, you have a great show. It's a great platform. You're doing a great service for, you know, for the baby boomers of the world. And
I appreciate that.
You deserve a lot of credit for that.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you being here and the kind words. I will tell you that of all the shows we've done, I've watched the Tom Hegna show more times than, because not only do I learn from it, but as a speaker, this man is pretty unparalleled. When I first heard him speak, it was at a NAFA conference. I love NAFA, just an unbelievable organization. I was sitting in the back of the room just listening to him speak, thinking, wow, I thought I was an emotional speaker. Because you have emotional speakers that deliver great messages, and then sometimes you have factual technicians that are delivering incredible facts, but the way they're delivering them, you almost don't care. Tom Hegna seems to be able to combine that raw science math with an emotion that is incredible. I mean, I plan on watching the Tom Hegna show, really and truly, the night before we do the big H4P class, which I'm hoping to have a 50 to 100 people at. What is it? That's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
At, here in Pinellas County. What a great speaker. And quite frankly, I've said that the first time before you and I even spoke. I watched one of your videos on LinkedIn, and you combine the technical skills with the emotion, and quite frankly, you convey the fact that you care. And that also, again, love the Tom Selleck commercials, but you're not a famous actor. You're actually caring. You're not reading a script, and we need more of that in this industry.
I appreciate it. I mean, it's an emotional product to work with each and every day. you know, and about, you know, one more story about Tom Hegna for a moment. You know,
No,
every time,
we got a good 10 minutes. Go.
Anytime I have a learning workshop or a seminar or a speaking engagement, it's not, you know, a lot of people listen to, you know, whatever music motivates them on the way. I got Tom Hegna. I go through Tom Hegna's YouTube videos and I listen to all of them because they're just such quality. You know, I think as a professional speaker, and look, Tom's given 30,000 speeches, you know, across the world, and so different level there, but the passion and the enthusiasm, and but yet the clear messaging. He's probably the most inspirational speaker that I have looked at to try to mimic my speaking after. And,
same here.
And you had him on. I mean, it was an unbelievable get for you in the show.
Yeah, as a public speaker, I've said this to you before, sometimes we go someplace and we listen to other people, and you don't want to be mean, and I'm not mean, but I think to myself, Jesus, this guy makes a living publicly speaking. Because as a public speaker yourself, you're a little hard on other speakers. But when you come across somebody, you know, like a Tom Hegna, like a Bill Comfort, you know, like a Mark Goldberg, like yourself, I learn from you when I listen to your videos. I truly do. That's a good thing. You get older, you get smarter.
I appreciate it. That means a lot. It really does.
We still have 8 minutes. Any chance of seeing the baby tonight, or no? In the bath, sleeping?
Oh my! All the way upstairs. I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably not going to be too likely tonight.
All right.
Unless you want to see if you can get the
5 minutes. Okay, we only got 5.
You want the older one?
Yeah, the older. Yeah.
That's okay.
I'm going to try to get the older one.
Absolutely.
See if she's still awake.
It's still a family show. Absolutely. Well, you know, you're going to be on a lot. I hope this year we're going to become very unbashful about long-term care insurance, final expense insurance, traditional long-term care, traditional annuities, the hybrid products, income annuities. You know more of these products than me. Name more, will you?
Fixed index annuities, variable annuities, mutual funds,
underwater basket weaving classes. We're going to talk about things that people, as they're approaching 62 and above, can use. We're going to turn the 62 Who Knew website, you know, into a gathering point for lack of better people, lack of better terms, the 62 Who Knew family, whether that's our viewers, our guests, people that we bring here locally. I know you were talking about maybe on one of your guest appearances, hopping on a plane and sitting here with us.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'd love to. I'd love to.
You want to? I mean, my God, getting out of that 6-degree weather and coming
I know. Twist my arm, right?
Yeah. I can see your wife dropping you off at the airport going, excuse me? But anyway, would love to have you sitting here at the desk. I'm really excited. I want to do that panel show. John, we're going to get to do these panel shows this year, right? Okay, John says okay.
And you brought up another product that gets kind of the same bad rep that reverse mortgages do, but certainly has its place, I feel, and that's annuities.
Absolutely.
And it goes back to, look, how if you're 62, okay, or even if you're in your 50s, how are you going to fund your longevity? And what if you live until 100 years old? And if you think gas is expensive now, imagine what it's going to be in 50 years.
That's right.
You know, if you think food is expensive now, imagine what it's going to be in 10 or 20 years. You know, it's planning for all that, and it's understanding, truly understanding, and working with professionals that also understand the difference between financial planning and wealth accumulation and asset allocation and retirement planning, which is the preservation of wealth, you know, and not outliving your money.
And longevity is just, that's hurting that.
It's all about income.
Can you imagine if our grandfathers were alive today, and I hope yours is because you're much younger than me, but if my grandfather was alive today and I told him that, you know, a halfway decent pair of sneakers, you know, could be close to $200, or a steak in a fine restaurant could be $50 to $60. He would say, no, you're crazy. You're living in a different world. Or that a box of popcorn in a movie theater. Oh. I mean, that's unbelievable to me.
Yeah. And my grandfather knows that more than I do now. He's 96, has more of a social life than I ever will.
Well, yeah. Hey.
God bless him.
Does he have a reverse mortgage?
He does not have a reverse mortgage.
Can I
no.
have his phone number?
He does
Because I
not.
could really do well for him.
He's yeah. You can't reverse mortgage apartments, so you'd have a little trouble there.
Those days will
But
come.
if he owned a home, he would absolutely have a reverse mortgage.
Fantastic. John, about how much time we have left, just in case? 2 minutes. We're looking good. So what are your plans? I know what your website again, so people can come and see your videos.
Yeah. So the website is www.morewithsless, my last name,
Yes.
.com. And then we also have another website, just a generic reverse mortgage website. It's reverseestimate.com.
Okay.
And that's a website that people can go on, not have to see my face 100 times in my videos, but just go on and get a real quick estimate. Hey, how much do I qualify for? My home is worth this amount. Tell me how much I get.
What I love about your videos, quite frankly, because I've watched many of them, is you've posted some of your consumer videos, some of your consumer educational things. And to me, it's just, what is that saying? A picture is worth 1,000 words or 1,000,000 words? Picture's worth more than words. Is when you're speaking and you say something that we take for granted, and your cameraman, kudos to your cameraman, shows the people going, just what? What did he just say?
Yeah.
It dawns. The light bulb goes off.
And we always come across a certain time in the learning workshops or the seminars when I start explaining reverse mortgages, and you can look out in the audience and you can tell they get it, and they're having their aha.
The
moment.
aha moment.
Oh, I thought reverse mortgages were something completely different than they actually are. And so the learning workshops and the seminars, they've been extremely rewarding.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I've been
fun.
doing those now for going on 7 years. And there's just no better way to convey a message to the audience. Even on the TV show, I wish that we could be sitting with somebody in their living room right now to see their aha moment.
Yeah.
But when their eyes light up, and you can just tell, it's a rewarding feeling for me because I know I'm doing my job pretty well, but I know they get it, and this is a life-changing event that they've come to.
We have 30 seconds left. The aha moment is really fun. The aha moment in life is fun, whether it's a reverse mortgage class or, let's face it, the aha moments are what make life. Whether it's the first time you're holding your baby, the aha moments of life are pretty damn cool.
They definitely are.
We got 10 seconds left. We've had a few aha moments in this episode, as we usually do. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to have a great show
My
next
pleasure.
week.
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to you tomorrow. Thank
Good
you so
night,
much,
everyone.
Stephen. Good night.
Have a good night.